A federal jury found 4 members of the far-right Oath Keepers group, including Trump-linked security operative Roger Stone on January 6, convicted by a federal jury this week of conspiracy to commit murder. Week of wrestling in relation to their behavior around Capitol violence in 2021. As for the consequences, the penalty will be up to 20 years in prison if convicted, making it equivalent, in this case, in particular, to the crime of obstruction of justice government, which federal prosecutors used against many Capitol rioters. However, the accusation clearly has important political implications, as does, of course, the case. It was another confirmed conviction after many others were convinced that they were guilty, and another jury found the founder of Oath Keepers Stewart Rhodes alongside another famous person, and what happened on Capitol Hill under Trump's encouragement was the implementation of a counter-strategy to hand over power. Prosecutor Louis Manzo called the group traitors during the trial. There is a real possibility of even more violence on Capitol Hill, prosecutors pointed out during the trial, as deadly attacks by protesters against officials or police officers are unusual. As reported by the Washington Post, Manzo pointed out that the revelations of the Guardian Kenneth Harrelson pushed the police to reveal whether the weapon was there. Army personnel are among the few options recommended for, Manzo said. The 4 people convicted in this trial are Joseph Hackett, Roberto Minuta, David Marshall, and Edward Vallejo. Minuta was the accused among those who wanted to protect the stone that day. The revelations show that Vallejo was still ready for action even after the Capitol riots ended, reporting the building the next day. There is a third Capitol riot-related trial on conspiracy charges that is still ongoing. The case is still ongoing in federal court in D.C., against the far-right group, the Proud Boys. In particularly memorable terms, an attorney for one of the defendants in the Oath Keepers trial dug into the idea that the violence that took place on Capitol Hill was more spontaneous than a reflection of weeks or even months of planning. The breach of the United States Capitol came as a surprise to each of the Oath Keepers, Hackett's attorney Angie Halim told the jury. Is that why they packed weapons and why Vallejo came back the next day? What a demon possessed him and woke up there. Trump has previously called for the release of all those arrested in connection with the riots. While some incidents involving violence, such as the case of a rioter caught plotting to kill law enforcement officers, apparently involved in legal proceedings against him, are relatively new. Recently, charges of treason were revealed more than a year ago. Before that, Trump had his say. This is what Trump represents, and shows no great sign of letting up ahead of the 2024 presidential election.